Asterisk, asterisk, why is Stoicism making a powerful comeback in the modern era? Introduction. A philosophy awakens from the dust of time once upon a time. Amidst the bustling marketplaces and grand marble halls of ancient Rome and Athens, there echoed voices that spoke not of power, conquest, or fleeting riches, but of something far deeper. In crowded forums and quiet corners, thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus shared a philosophy built on inner strength, unwavering resilience, and the art of mastering oneself. Their words, like seeds carried by the wind, planted ideas that inspired generations to come, for centuries. Their teachings were cherished, passed down from one hand to another, whispered like sacred truths. But time, as always, swept forward. New empires rose and fell. Philosophies changed, and the wisdom of the Stoics slowly faded, buried beneath the ever-shifting sands of history like a forgotten manuscript gathering dust in an abandoned library. Yet, some truths are too profound to stay hidden forever, like an ancient oak tree whose roots have gripped the earth for millennia. Stoicism never truly died. Its roots remained deep and quiet, waiting patiently beneath the surface. And now, in the heart of our chaotic digital age, that oak has broken through the soil once again, its branches stretching wide, offering shade and shelter to weary souls searching for clarity and strength. Can you see it? All around us, people from every corner of the globe are reaching back, brushing off the dust of these ancient scrolls and rediscovering the timeless wisdom within them. In podcasts, books, social media posts, and even corporate boardrooms, Stoicism breathes anew. But the question lingers: why? What is it about this ancient philosophy that resonates so powerfully with the modern soul? What deep, unspoken need are we hoping it will fulfill? Perhaps the answer lies not just in the philosophy itself, but in the times we live in. As we peel back the layers of modern existence, we may find that the rebirth of Stoicism is not just a coincidence, but a necessity. So let us journey together into this revival of ancient wisdom. Let us explore the core principles of Stoicism, examine the struggles that define our contemporary lives, and uncover the quiet, persistent longing for a life that feels more grounded, more purposeful, and perhaps more human. And this is where our exploration begins, in the noise and chaos of the modern world. Part 1. The noise of the modern world. Picture this. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, your phone lights up like a siren in the dark. Notifications, emails, breaking news, endless social media updates, all demanding your attention before you've even taken your first breath of the day. The world seems to be racing at a pace no human was built to endure. We live in a time where information floods us like a river in monsoon season, wild, relentless, and often overwhelming. From the moment we open our eyes until we fall back into bed, our senses are assaulted by updates, opinions, and comparisons. It's as if we're trapped in a noisy marketplace where everyone's shouting, but no one is truly listening, not even to themselves. We are more connected than ever, yet, paradoxically, we feel more disconnected from ourselves, from the quiet core of who we are. Beneath the surface of constant connectivity, many of us carry an invisible weight. Anxiety that tightens the chest, depression that clouds the mind, and burnout that drains the spirit. These have become the silent pandemics of our era, creeping into lives without warning, often unnoticed until they paralyze us. We scroll through our feeds, watching curated highlight reels of other people's lives, each image and story subtly whispering, "You're not enough. You're falling behind." Have you ever felt that? That nagging sense that no matter how hard you try, you're always a step behind, forever chasing a mirage. In such a climate, it's no surprise that people feel adrift, like ships lost in a foggy sea of endless expectations, with no clear compass to guide them. The noise is deafening, The distractions endless, and peace feels like a distant memory. But here, right in the heart of this chaos, is where Stoicism reemerges, not as an escape, but as a lifeline. A steady, unyielding hand reaching out from history, offering us a simple yet profound truth. Focus only on what is within your control, not the news headlines, not the opinions of strangers, not the curated perfection on social media, but your own mind. Your perceptions, your choices. Personal commentary. I must admit, I've been caught in this storm myself. There were days when the barrage of messages, expectations, and comparisons left me dizzy, disoriented, unsure of who I was amidst all the noise. It was in one of those quiet, desperate moments that I stumbled upon Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. As I turned its worn pages, it felt as though I wasn't just reading words, I was hearing a voice. Calm and steady, cutting through the clutter. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Those words didn't just echo in my mind, they anchored me. Like a lighthouse in the storm, they reminded me that while I cannot control the winds, I can adjust my sails. And this is precisely the first key to understanding why Stoicism is making a powerful comeback today. Because in a world that feels beyond our control, it teaches us to reclaim the only thing that truly is ours, the mind. As we journey deeper into this philosophy, let us now explore the very heart of Stoicism, the core principle that has guided countless souls through chaos, adversity, and uncertainty. The distinction between what we can control and what we must simply accept. Analysis in many ways. Stoicism is not just a philosophy. It is the antidote to the helplessness that quietly infects modern society. Think about it. Every time we scroll through social media, we are bombarded by headlines of wars raging thousands of miles away, natural disasters destroying lives in an instant, and political conflicts that seem both urgent and unresolvable. The weight of the world is delivered to our screens in real time, yet most of it lies far beyond our sphere of influence. We feel the pull to react, to comment, to share, to voice our frustration, but deep down, we often feel powerless to effect real change, and that powerlessness breeds anxiety, despair, and even apathy. Here is where Stoicism offers a refreshing clarity. It gently but firmly reminds us that our sphere of control begins within ourselves. Instead of being consumed by the world's chaos, we are invited to look inward, to cultivate personal virtue, to refine our judgments, and to strengthen our character. And perhaps, by doing so, we contribute not with grand gestures, but with quiet steadiness to a more thoughtful, stable world. For when individuals are anchored within themselves, the collective inevitably grows calmer, wiser, and more resilient. Part 3. The Stoic resilience in times of crisis. We don't have to look far back in history to see Stoicism in action. The COVID-19 pandemic, a global event that halted the world, served as a monumental wake-up call for millions. Overnight, we were stripped of certainty, freedom of movement, and social interaction. Lockdowns confined us within our homes, and anxiety seeped into every corner of life. And yet, amidst that stillness, many turned inward, searching not for entertainment or distraction, but for solace, for answers. It was here, in the quiet corners of isolation, that Stoicism resurfaced like a familiar friend returning at just the right time. Suddenly, quotes from Seneca became more than historical footnotes. They became lifelines. His words, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," felt profoundly true as our minds raced with what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. Marcus Aurelius, writing nearly 2,000 years ago, seemed to speak directly to us when he reflected on mortality, impermanence, and the only control we ever truly possess, the control over our own mind. And Epictetus, ever the practical guide, reminded us that while external events may shake the world, they cannot shake the peace we cultivate within unless we allow them to. In times of crisis, the Stoic does not promise to erase the suffering. Instead, they teach us to stand firm, to prepare our minds like soldiers readying for battle, not to evade pain, but to endure it with courage, dignity, and grace. Personal reflection. I remember vividly the early days of lockdown. Every news update brought more fear, reports of rising cases, overwhelmed hospitals, economies on the brink of collapse. The world outside my window was eerily silent, but inside my mind, there was a storm brewing. I could have been consumed by that storm, and for a time I was. But then I began to adopt the simple yet profound practices of the Stoics. Morning reflections to center my thoughts, journaling to untangle my anxieties, and conscious reminders of what was within my power. No, these practices didn't make the pandemic vanish, nor did they shield me from hardship. They gave me something even more valuable, a mental fortress. I stood firmer, steadier, and strangely, even in isolation, I felt more connected to something ancient, enduring, and human. And perhaps that is the essence of Stoic resilience, not the absence of pain, but the presence of strength amidst it. Now, as we emerge from such collective trials, another question arises. If external wealth and success can crumble so easily, then what should we truly pursue? This brings us to the next pivotal teaching of the Stoics, the pursuit of virtue in a material world. Part 5. Mindfulness and Stoicism. Ancient Kazinsasent. It's fascinating how ideas separated by centuries, by continents, can still meet as if they were born from the same soul. Such is the case with Stoicism and the modern practice of mindfulness. On the surface, one is a philosophy forged in the forums of ancient Rome and Athens, while the other finds its roots in Eastern traditions like Buddhism. Yet when we look closer, we see them walking hand in hand along the same quiet path, the path toward inner peace. Take, for instance, a Stoic practice known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This was no morbid exercise. Instead, it was a conscious, deliberate act of imagining potential misfortunes, a way to prepare the mind for life's inevitable hardships. By rehearsing adversity in the mind, the Stoics strengthened their resilience, lessening the shock when reality struck. Now, think about mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts, our emotions, and our sensations without judgment, to see them for what they are, neither clinging to them nor pushing them away. It is an invitation to sit with discomfort, to accept the impermanence of all things, and to respond with calm awareness rather than impulsive reaction. Can you see the kinship? Both traditions, though born worlds apart, converge on this essential truth. Life is uncertain, suffering is inevitable. But peace is possible when we train the mind to meet life as it is, not as we wish it to be. The Stoic does not ignore their impulses. Instead, they observe them, question them, and then choose their response with deliberate clarity. In the same way, a mindfulness practitioner watches thoughts arise and pass, like clouds drifting across the sky, acknowledging each without getting swept away. Personal insight. When I began blending these two practices, my morning meditations, intertwined with readings from Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus, I noticed something remarkable. I became less reactive. The small irritations of daily life, the unexpected setbacks, the criticisms that once lingered, they all began to lose their grip on me. It was as if the Stoics and the Buddhists had somehow sat together across the centuries, sharing a quiet knowing. Peace is not the absence of storm, but the ability to remain steady within it. This realization changed me. And I know I'm not alone in this discovery. Around the world, countless others are finding this same harmony between ancient Stoicism and modern mindfulness, crafting for themselves a practice that transcends time and culture. And yet, one might ask, how did these age-old teachings make their way back into the mainstream. How did they leap from dusty scrolls and forgotten manuscripts into the palms of our hands? We no longer need to pore over dense Latin or ancient Greek texts, squinting to decipher the language of long gone civilizations. Today, with just a few taps on a screen, a single Instagram post, a tweet, or a short video can deliver the essence of Stoic wisdom straight to us, sometimes in less than 60 seconds. In that fleeting moment, we are reminded to focus on what we can control, to practice gratitude for what we have, to see hardships not as curses, but as teachers shaping our character. It's remarkable how these ancient insights find new life in modern mediums, carried across platforms designed more for distraction than reflection. Yet there's a choice here. We can endlessly scroll, numbing ourselves with shallow entertainment and endless comparisons. Or we can choose to pause, to let a quote from Seneca or Marcus Aurelius sink deep into our minds, reshaping the way we see the world. Analysis. Perhaps this is life's greatest irony, that the very tools which fragment our attention, stir our anxieties and scatter our focus, are also the ones capable of reconnecting us with timeless wisdom. Technology, for all its flaws, is not inherently the enemy. It is a vessel. And like any vessel, its value depends on what it carries and what we choose to draw from it. Will we drink from the stream of noise and distraction? Or will we seek the waters of clarity and insight that philosophies like Stoicism still offer? The choice is, and always has been, ours to make. Conclusion: a philosophy for the ages. So, why is Stoicism making such a powerful comeback in this age of speed, distraction, and uncertainty? The answer lies in its deep resonance with the timeless struggles of the human condition. Regardless of the century we live in, people wrestle with fear, loss, ambition, failure, and the ever-elusive quest for meaning. These challenges are not bound by time or technology. They are woven into the fabric of life itself, in the whirlwind of the modern world, a world that spins faster with every sins, with every word, with folly sins, with every single voice emerges as a grounding force. It does not shout, it whispers. Yet that whisper cuts through the noise, reminding us of truths we often forget. Control what you can. Let go of what you cannot. Cultivate virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, for these are the pillars of a good life. Prepare your mind for adversity, for hardship is not an exception, but a certainty. Live in harmony with nature and reason, embracing life as it comes. These aren't just lofty ideals. They are practical instructions for living well in any age. In a time where so much feels out of our control, from global events to personal crises, Stoicism returns our attention inward, handing us back the reins to our inner life. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully when he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." It is a simple but profound reminder that obstacles are not roadblocks, but pathways. Every difficulty carries within it the seed of growth, if only we choose to see it that way. And so we return again and again to the quiet, steadfast strength of Stoicism. Not as a trend, not as an intellectual curiosity, but as a living philosophy that guides us through the storms of life with dignity, courage, and grace. The old oak still stands, its roots deep, its branches wide, offering shelter, wisdom, and peace to anyone who seeks its shade, and perhaps, in its shadow, we find not just answers, but a way forward.